This is the Pro Sendr Playmate. It's a favourite training aid among guys like Rory McIlroy, and it really helps your golf swing, especially if you struggle with a few key aspects. It is an upgrade to the original Playmate. There's a few added extras which we'll talk about. So we're going to review it, see if it's worth buying, and see if it does what it's designed to do. Okay, so first off, let's talk about what you get. You get the Playmate, you get an extra strap if you're a little bit on the weightier side, and we've got the 3 different resistance bands along with the connector on the club. So I'm going to use the shorter one, throw those away. Basically, this thing sits around your waist like so. We slot it through, and then where your belt buckle is where this belt buckle goes. And then we have this small little band here that sits just below the grip. And then we throw it on the shaft, tighten it up. And this Playmate's designed for a few different things. So primarily, it's designed to help you shallow it, but it does help a lot, I find, with rotation, backswing, and all different things, especially with some of the new additional features like the alignment belt loop or the alignment stick loop, and then also this Velcro strap where we can place other Pro Sendr products, which we'll talk about. So let's first just talk about what it's designed to do. Playmate, you know, it's a friend of your plane effectively. So what the whole idea is with this is we have a little bit of resistance on this band, and in the backswing, we keep that resistance. So let's just talk through the various backswing positions and how it can help you. I've also dropped a link in the description of where you can buy this. So what we do is we get into settle position. We've got stretch on the band. We maintain that stretch. This is really, really nice for people who do whip the club inside, because we can create that little bit of resistance there, and it gets you that really nice one-piece takeaway. From here, we keep that stretch on the band, and again, this is really nice to get you setting that club nice and upright. Too many people drag it way around the body. If we do, there's lots of slack on the band, no tension, so we can create that resistance. For me, it helps shorten up a lot of backswings as well, because we've got that resistance in the band there. A lot of people want to drop it down here. You can't as well go too across the line because it'll kind of get tangled up in your arm. So I like it just for that backswing position. More than anything, if my personal opinion, I prefer this more, you know, not necessarily for hitting shots with, but just getting guys to feel that correct backswing position. But for a lot of guys, you know, we get that stretch, and then from here, it's designed to do is we let it relax, and it shallows that club out nicely. You can see if I just let it relax, it shallows it out. I can just rotate my body, then extend through. It's a great training aid if you struggle with like chicken winging or really collapsing. I also find that when we stretch that band through, because we're forcing almost our hips through, we get a little bit more rotation through the shot. So it's really, really good for that. You know, I like guys to do it without almost hitting balls, just to get that feeling, and then just build them way up, you know, hitting little chip shots. So we create the tension, let it relax, and then just hit little shots. You'll really feel it if you're somebody who really whips the club over and over releases it. Watch what happens. So stretch, relax, and then you can see how the band kind of gets tangled up in my arms there. Whereas if I do it correctly, you know, Rory uses this for like his wedge shots. He's pretty good at golf, so he must know what he's doing. But if I create the stretch, let it relax, fatted that. So you can see how I've just got tangled up a little bit in the band there. So that's good feedback for me. Let's hit another one. So I'll try and concentrate because I'm probably running through this a little bit too quick. So stretch the band out, relax, stretch. Okay, so I've hit a nice shot there. I can really feel for me how I've got to drive my hips through and really create that extension on the way through. My habit is I get a bit narrow and I don't get rotated, so I can't really swing it. It stops me doing that. So I think this is a great training aid in terms of playing for people who drag it inside. I think if you're somebody who struggles with a takeaway, fantastic training aid. If you're somebody who struggles getting it overly flat, fantastic training aid. If you're somebody who struggles with a long swing, you just can't do that. You'll lose all the resistance. So I love it for that. If you're somebody who gets too steep, you can see how it creates this awkward position on my forearm here. Great training aid. If you're somebody who struggles with rotation, again, great training aid. So it's got a lot of different uses for different people. I use this in my teaching a lot. I think it's great for getting the feeling. Some negatives, it can be a little bit awkward for some people. You know, they can kind of over exaggerate it, but you know, with those people, you use it slightly differently. You might use it dry, i.e., you know, without any balls. Like, I like it just as like almost like a training aid at home to kind of build those golf muscles without hitting a ball. And then you can kind of, you know, unclip it if you are somebody who doesn't like hitting balls with it, you know, unclip it. And then we've done a few dry training aid and then try and almost create that feeling again. So it's quite useful and versatile in that way. I really like it, really like it. So let's talk about some of the benefits of this new PlaneMate now as opposed to the old model. Okay, so I've taken away the band. Now I'm going to use it with some of the new features. One of these is this Velcro pad here. Now what you can do is the connection spheres, either the big one or the little one, you can place them on this Velcro bit. So what I like about this is you can be very versatile in how you want to use it. So say for instance, like me, you struggle getting rotation, I can place it on here, and then the feeling is that I feel in downswing that I really rotate that ball out the way. So I can just hit shots. Okay, I'm going to feel like I rotate the ball out the way, and I can feel it over on this backside here. You can also use it for different things. You know, if you're somebody who struggles with getting stuck with the right arm, you can place it here. So then if you do get stuck in the downswing, I'm going to whack that right arm into the sphere. So it's a really good way of creating some width in the downswing and not crashing in. Again, like I'm doing this and it feels really awkward because I am somebody who struggles with that. I get that right arm really jammed in, and you can see how I would hit that. So you can get it there and just kind of feel, okay, I hit that there, didn't hit a great shot, I could feel it there. So it's got some versatility in terms of how we want to use for rotation. We can also do things that I really like of just getting people some awareness that I'll place it, like say for instance on the hip, and a lot of people that I see don't know how to load the trail hip correctly. So I'll almost place it in that hip joint, get them to swing up to the top, and they're almost feeling like this squeezing that ball. You're not going to quite do it, but you can feel it like squeeze almost, and then in downswing you almost feel like you're squeezing it again. It's a great way of getting that athletic kind of motion there. You can do it on the other side. So get up to the top, feeling like I'm really squeezing that ball in there. It's a great way of creating that athleticism. So let's get up to the top, squeeze it, and then we can also hit some shots with it. I didn't quite feel the squeeze there, so I'm like, okay, I didn't quite do it. So it's a really good partner training aid with stuff like that. Let's talk a little bit about the alignment belt loop now. So the other thing that it has is some alignment loops for an alignment stick. So this can be really useful because sometimes we can damage our pants if we're sticking alignment sticks through them. I personally don't like doing it, especially if you've got some expensive pants. So we put it through. This is a great way, you know, you got somebody who stands open, you know, we can pick that up straight away just for alignment. I like it for a few different reasons. One, that same thing that I was using the connection sphere on the right hand side, we can use that alignment stick just to help create some space in the downswing. For anyone who gets a little bit stuck, you're gonna really jam into that alignment rod. So we can create some space with it. It's great for that. And then the correct rotation. I also like it this way, whereby we've got a lot of alignment stick there. So it can help with over rotation for people who over rotate. It gives that visual. It can also help with somebody who under rotates, feeling like they get that stick a little bit more towards the ball in backswing. And then obviously in downswing, we can feel like that stick is moving back out the way for anyone who early extends up to the top. And then I feel like I'm really trying to push that stick out back behind me. So I like this. Like you say, you could obviously do it with your belt loops, but if you've got expensive pants, you might not like doing that. It's just a nice sort of feeling. You can also use this alignment stick, which I really like, for people who hip hike. So that is when you get into downswing and that right hip really works high. So you can see how that's not level. We can almost feel like, okay, let that stick get level, feeling like that hip works down, then rotate. So it's really, really versatile in that way. So let's just talk about the Playmate. Is it worth you buying? So the Playmate, it's $180. I've put a link in the description of where you can buy it. Is it a good training aid? Yes. Is it for everyone? Maybe not, but I think with the new additions, with the Velcro, with the belt loop, I think there's so many uses for this. I think it's great for somebody who wants to practice at home without hitting balls, who struggles with any of the things that I mentioned, you know, inside takeaway, too flat, too steep, lack of rotation. I think it's really, really versatile. I think it's great if you're a golf coach. Really recommend it because there's so many uses for it, especially if you have the other Pro Sendr products. Would I recommend it? Yeah, I would. It's probably the price of a golf lesson, decent golf lesson, so it's priced quite well in that regard. You get a lot of function with it, and I think it will help a lot of golfers. It's not, you know, going to cure your golf swing, but it's going to give you some great feelings. If you're a coach, like I said, 100%, this is a great training aid to put in your arsenal. Like I said, I've put a link in the description. Feel free to ask me any questions about this. Again, very, very solid product from Pro Sendr with this.